Welcome everybody, welcome to Apple Insider. It is This Week in Apple. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara. You can find me on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. And I want to thank you guys so much for a lot of the well wishes. After last week, I was a bit under the weather. You could hear it on the podcast. You could see it in me as I did the episode, but I'm feeling better now, and I am jazzed to be here, and we've got some cool stuff to talk about. So welcome to This Week in Apple, where I cover all the Apple news that you need to care about, this time with even more opinions. So let's go ahead and start off with Beats Studio Buds. Beats Studio Buds, they've been rumored for a really long time. We saw an insane amount of leaks tracing back to them, and I've pretty much talked about them on this show for the past several weeks. But now they are official. We know what the deal is. So basically just, I don't even know how you want to properly describe them, because they're a mix between a Beats product and an Apple product. So they have a lot of the features of AirPods Pro, but in a Beats package. So they come in white, black, and red. AirPods Pro, only come in white. AirPods only come in white. So they're priced at $150, which is below AirPods and AirPods Pro, but they still have things like noise canceling and transparency mode and a lot of the other features that go to the AirPods Pro. So I know a lot of people are seeing holy crap, we can get basically a lot of the features of AirPods at a way lower price. And you're not 100% wrong on that. But there are reasons that Apple prices the AirPods Pro where they do. One of the biggest differences that I want to make sure people understand, the first thing that I was kind of thinking when I saw these is regarding the advanced features. So these are ones that not everyone's going to care about, and it makes these, Beats Studio Buds a really good deal. But spatial audio, for example. So AirPods Pro, they have things like gyroscopes and accelerometers in there to tell you a lot of details. If you're using head tracking with Apple TV and tvOS 15, they actually can tell when you're sitting on the couch based on your movements. And then when you are moving your head around versus looking at the TV, they start the head tracking, which keeps the point of audio in front of you. So as you move your head, it stays fixed to where the picture's coming from. It's an incredible effect, and I really like it. But the Beats Studio Buds, they don't have that feature because they don't have the gyroscope and the accelerometer that are necessary to pull it off. So they still have spatial audio, but it just moves with your head. So it doesn't have the head tracking abilities that AirPods Pro do. So there are differences between the two. We don't know what sound is going to be for sure like it. When we get our hands on the Beats Studio Pro, I'll be able to share Beats Studio Buds, not Pro. When I get my hands on those, I'll be able to share more in terms of audio, but I'm willing to bet that maybe Beats Studio Buds are heavier on the bass, but overall lower sound quality than the AirPods Pro. And we'll find out as we get closer. I mean, battery life is pretty much the same. They all have the same IPX4 water resistance rating. A lot of the other specs are pretty comparable, but it comes in $150 less than AirPods Pro. So I think these new Beats Studio Buds, they're going to be really popular because you get so many of those features at a lower price. It's going to be really interesting to see how these shape up and fit in the lineup. I mean, even on the Beats side, you have the Powerbeats Pro up on the high end in terms of wireless, but these new ones, they're so tempting at that $150 price point. So I'm really interested in these. I think they're super cool. Got them on order. We'll get them here soon. They start shipping on June 24th, I want to believe. Maybe hitting hands, but 25th, somewhere around there. So very soon we will actually get to test these things out. But I'm excited they're official. New true wireless earbuds from Beats, / Apple. This isn't so much news, but kind of a throwback to a video I did this week. So I've been playing around with macOS Monterey for a while now. So obviously I've got iOS going on my stuff and iPadOS 15 going on. But Monterey I hadn't been using on my main machine, but I recently installed it on my MacBook Air, my M1 MacBook Air, and I've been testing it out. So I did a video yesterday covering the features that I think you guys are going to care about most. But honestly, I'm really excited by macOS Monterey. There's so many cool things in this update. I feel like it's not as big of an update as macOS Big Sur was, but there seriously is a lot of cool little features. The Safari redesign is tops on my list. It's pretty freaking awesome. I really like the new look. I like the tab groups are really handy to organize things with. So Apple just did a really good job with Monterey so far. I'm pretty psyched on it. Other things that were neat, like AirPlay. AirPlay is really cool because you can use your Mac as an AirPlay receiver. So many possibilities here. You know, you're in an office environment, throw your like presentation from your phone or iPad up to the Mac connected to the projector. Or maybe you're at home and you just want to, you're playing some music through Tidal or Deezer or something on your phone. You don't want to deal with getting it on your Mac. You can just AirPlay audio from your phone to your Mac and use like your 24-inch iMac's crazy sounding good speakers. Maybe you just want to show a video. You got a cool AppleInsider video that you want to show your friends, as everyone does, and you want to throw it up on the larger screen of your 24-inch or 27-inch iMac. Like, that's a total thing. You could also use a Mac as a second display. So if you've got, a Mac going on. So like, I have my Mac Pro that I work most of the time on, but maybe I want to like throw it over to like my 24-inch iMac and I can extend my display and use another Mac as an external monitor. I mean, the screen is great there. I actually don't hate it as a second monitor for my Mac Pro. So that's a possibility. Or maybe you're using your Mac, like a Mac Mini, as a media PC, a media center on your living room TV. You can now use it almost like an Apple TV and cast audio to it just like you could an Apple TV. So you can do a lot of the stuff that you could do with an Apple TV through a Mac if you're using it as a media center PC. So lots of cool stuff. Like the AirPlay thing is just great. I'm kind of surprised it took Apple as long as it did to add those features. But if you want to know more about what I think about macOS Monterey and like the features I really liked after using it for a while, go check out that other video. It's seriously a great shot. Apple did some rare price drops this week, which I think is interesting. And it's not for any of their product lines. It's actually for AppleCare Plus on the new M1 MacBook Air and MacBook Pro. Apple slashed the price of AppleCare Plus on the MacBook Air by $50 and on the MacBook Pro, the 13-inch MacBook Pro, by $20. So that takes it down to notes $249 to $199 for the MacBook Air and $269 to $249 for the MacBook Pro. I mean, the coverage is still the same and everything, but they're taking, a good chunk of change off that price, like a fifth of the cost on, that MacBook Air. So it's pretty good. So if you recently got a MacBook Air and you were kind of on the fence about AppleCare, you didn't want to throw down $250, maybe you're cool throwing down $200. We don't really see price drops from Apple all that much. The biggest one I remember is like when the original iPhone launched and they overcharged everyone by a lot of money and refunded people who had bought it for so much. But, other than that, we don't see price drops all that often. So I think that's really interesting that Apple changed that. Maybe they're getting things ready, opening up some space in the spectrum for, that 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M1X processor. They need to shift those down a little bit, but maybe they would have done that at the same time. I don't know. It's curious. We're just still waiting for that MacBook Pro, aren't we? It's got to make its way into every episode, one or the other, I guess. Even if we don't have any new rumors on a supposed release date coming along this week. Other Apple news, Apple launched their back-to-school promotion. This is a slick deal because you can stack these together and get a great deal on a Mac if you are someone who qualifies for the back-to-school promotion. So you're in school, high school, college, whatever, you're in school, or you're a teacher, anything like that. Maybe you got a kid in school and you need a new Mac and you want to borrow their college credential to help you get a discount. All of that is possible with Apple's back-to-school promotion. So if you buy a qualifying Mac or iPad, you will get a free set of AirPods. And these AirPods, you're getting the base set of AirPods, no wireless charging case, nothing like that, but you do get the base set of AirPods for free, $169 for free. But you also get the educational discount on top of that. So if you're looking at like a MacBook Air or an iPad Pro, you're getting like $100 off and then a set of AirPods for free. You also have the option to upgrade your AirPods. So if the AirPods you're getting are like the basic ones, you can pay the $40 more and go up to the AirPods with wireless charging case. $40 more gets you that wireless charging case. Or go up even higher and just jump to the AirPods Pro. So you're looking at, do I have to math for you guys, like $100 or something like that, $90? want to say 90 maybe. But you pay like $90 and you're getting AirPods Pro. I think that's a really good deal. So if you don't have AirPods yet or AirPods Pro and you're on the fence about a new Mac, see if you can qualify for that Apple Education discount. This back-to-school promo runs for a little while now during the summer months. So yeah, definitely check it out. This has been long expected. They launch this every year. Usually a similar promotion going on. And yeah, so iPads, iPad Pros, Macs, all can get you that discount, education discount, plus a free set of AirPods. So a while ago, we had talked about some new anti-big tech legislation that was making its way through the U.S. Congress, through the U.S. House before getting to the Senate. So the Senate, or the House Antitrust Committee, had introduced the Ending Platform Monopolies Act. It was 5 pieces of legislation coming out of that committee. They're set to make some further changes to that, it sounds like, towards the end of June before voting on it in the House. Then it gets to the Senate. All of that kind of has to go through. But what was crazy interesting this week is that we got a quote from one of the members of the committee. So it looks like House Judiciary Antitrust Subcommittee Chairman, Representative David Sicilian. Oh gosh, don't judge me for pronouncing names. Anyway, he said that it would be equally easy to download the other 5 apps as the Apple one, so they're not using their market dominance to favor their own products and services. What that means is this legislation would prohibit Apple from installing its own apps. And instead of getting them on your phone when you set it up, you'd have to head to the App Store to download them yourself. Think things like Mail or Safari, anything where there's a wealth of alternatives on the App Store. This legislation says that Apple cannot favor its own products by having them pre-installed on the Apple phone you bought, and instead you have to go to the App Store to download them. I don't want to get into like all of like the nitty-gritty details on this and whether, some of these other points in the legislation is good or bad, but this specific case I think is just ridiculous. Whether it's for Apple or Amazon or White, I don't care. It just seems ridiculous and overreaching, just my opinion. You're buying an Apple phone or an Android phone or an Amazon tablet, and I would expect that those apps would come pre-installed and not make consumers like go through hoops of like re-downloading them. Fortunately, I would assume it would be fine for anyone who already has a phone, just restoring from a backup and it's like grandfathered in essentially to the apps they already have on their phone. But if you're buying new, it just seems like an annoying hurdle in the sake of just, I don't know, making sure they see that the App Store exists. Maybe I don't think people are that dumb, but I feel like if you really, if you want to look for another mail client, you're fully capable of going to the App Store and looking for another mail client. There are many options out there, and I think that everyone is capable of searching for those themselves. And I don't think Apple's getting some unfair advantage just by having them on their device. They do, most of the time, like sometimes a bare minimum version of an app, and there's a lot of alternatives out there. I think people are fully capable of finding those themselves. But that's just my opinions. You don't have to agree with me by any means. Pretty minimal in terms of rumors this week. The one thing that we saw, which isn't even relevant going into the future, is that Apple looked to be creating a black version of the ceramic Apple Watch Series 5. And I think this is super curious because I love the ceramic version of Apple Watch. I've never owned one because I didn't feel like paying that much money. Stick with my stainless steel, my black stainless steel, graphite stainless steel. But the ceramic was super nice. I know a lot of people who loved the ceramic version, and I've got to play with them, and I think they just look immaculate. It'd be really cool to see a black version. I'd be nervous it would look almost too like plasticky or something, which is maybe why Apple nixed it, or maybe they just didn't have the sales in the ceramic that they were hoping for, because like the ceramic has come and gone, over time. But I think it's really interesting. So we just saw some, leaked shots that show Apple may have been working on that ceramic version. So anyway, that is it for this week at Apple. Pretty much the biggest news you guys need to care about. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like this more kind of compact format, touching on less stories, a little more opinion on them, or do you want to go back to faster paced? It's up to you guys. I'm doing this for all of you. Make sure to share this with your friends if anyone else needs to keep up with the Apple news. Let me know what you think on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. Otherwise, I'll check you guys out in the next video.